Indeed. Indeed. Area code 913, you're on live with Tolec. Please state your name and where you're calling in from.
Hi.
Hi, you're on live with Tolec. Please state your name and where you're calling in from.
I'm calling from Kansas City area. I contacted Tolec. Hi, Tolec. This is V333 Meg.
Okay. Hello.
I contacted you about a painting, and I put it up there for you to look at. I have been watching Bob Dean and Clifford Stone. I just loved that interview recently with Carrie Cassidy.
Oh, with Carrie. Yeah. Bob's good people. Yep.
Yeah, and other things like that. And I know I have gotten enough signs to be doing this writing I should be doing about this experience that I had 4D while I was lucid dreaming. In the dream, I got stuck in my throat, and I couldn't join this pulse that was happening and say the things that all these people were saying. I experienced these people, human consciousness coming together in voice and in colors and everything. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do now. Do we have ET help to get us through that, or do we have some kind of process that I'm missing out here?
Here's my intuitional answer. My intuition tells me that if you're having a difficult time voicing what you're learning, that's probably why your spiritual higher-ups, your guides, whoever they are endorsing and suggesting that you write. Maybe the process of starting to write what you've learned will release the energy, because I know even of people who work in sort of like the spirituality, New Age realm that have always said that the process of writing something will many times release the energy of it. So I think it's a good recommendation. I would start, whatever it is that is, I kind of like feel that it's maybe like a balled up bunch of energy that needs to be released. I believe that they're accurate. Go ahead and start writing, and that process will start to release the energy of what you're feeling. The second part of the answer is, if you want to, you can reach out telepathically. That word, telepathically, to Azar, who's the chief medical officer of all of the biospheres, and simply reach out telepathically. Inform her of what you're going through and ask for her help. And she or some of her people will do some work interdimensionally for you.
Oh, what was the name again? I'm sorry.
Pardon?
What was her name again?
Azar. Think A-Z, as in zebra, A-Z-A-R.
A-Z-A-R. All right, I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Have a good night,
Okay,
Colin.
yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
All right, Heather.
Hi, Tolec. This is Heather calling, and I have a quick question. Calling in because I'm chiming in between all these other wonderful questions and people coming to us tonight. So I'm calling in here at our roundtable. I have a question. So I keep thinking about something that we spoke about earlier in the show, about the writing, about for some reason I still have the piano playing in my head, and I'm thinking about creativity. Can you talk to us tonight and the listeners about creativity and the fourth dimension? How will this dimension affect creativity, and in addition, how will it be manifested?
Okay. To give full justice to this question, it would probably take 17 to 20 minutes of me talking nonstop.
I've been holding on to this question since
I know.
I knew it was going to. It's wonderful. Whatever you can share in a short sentence.
Okay. You know what? Here's what we'll do. I will provide the executive summary bullet point version, and then what I'll do is I'll send you via email, Microsoft Word, the 2-page document, so you can have it for your own knowledge. Here we go.
Wonderful. Go.
People in the fourth dimension today, the people that live in the fourth dimension today, those who are at birth, creatively, artistically inclined, are, for the most part, not much different than people on Earth today in terms of that natural urging to express themselves. Do they do it? Do they receive formal training also? Can they receive discipline training? Certainly. There are, as an example, and you can read more about it later, but they told me about a man who travels, who's from the Andromeda Galaxy, who will go from biosphere to biosphere, and he will listen to a bunch of requests. He will hear a request given and say, I'll choose that one. And instead of using paints, he will, think of your hands and your fingers as a way to express and release energy and color. He will stand in a room and in free space, paint isn't the right word, but for lack of better expression, he will paint in free space in front of you, in front of everybody, whether it's a scene or a person or the proverbial bowl of fruit. He will create using color, light, and it even has tonal quality, sound. And so when he's done, you would see this artistic expression floating in free space in the middle of this room. When people who are musicians, they are born to a musical calling. For the ones that want to learn how to play musical instruments, they can. The ones that I've heard about include things like a lute or a lyre, like a harp. There are a few stringed instruments, including those. There is an instrument which kind of looks like a French horn, but isn't, and it's made out of a material that's white, kind of wood-looking. They definitely have instruments. There's a drum that's about 2 feet in diameter that they play. And as an example, I'm aware of a band. There's a band that travels from the different biospheres and that plays, if you will, mainstream music for people from a variety of different planets that happen to be working on the biospheres. And they're very talented. And here's the difference. When they're playing those instruments, those instruments don't express sound, not that you would hear it through your ears. They express color and light, but the sound is heard inside people's minds. It's telepathic. They told me about, last one, they told me about a woman who's very well recognized, who also does some traveling. She's actually from the Andromeda Galaxy. She's a soprano, but when she sings, people hear her in their minds. They don't hear her audibly through sound. Yeah. That's the key difference.
Oh, it sounds amazing. I just have one quick thing because I know that we have so many other callers. But so it sounds to me when you're talking about the painting, the expression part itself, that is it interactive, not only just between the artist and whatever it is in itself, but then others to interact with it, because it sounds like it's about color, it's about sound, it's about all these sort of things, an eclectic kaleidoscope, a mixture of this expression. Wonderful. That's all. That's what color, I need to understand.
Color, sound, light, vibration, and I'm going to anticipate where you were going with this. Can people and do people who like to create fine art together, can they do that? Absolutely. You could have like 3 or 4 people saying, we want to create this, or we want to create an abstract expression of certain colors, certain tones, certain vibrations. Collectively, they can do that as well. And the last thing which you may find interesting is that they actually have sculptures. And you can take fourth dimensional vibratory material and create something. Let's call it a fruit bowl, because that's what artists do first. They can, as an example, they can create a bowl of fruit using fourth-dimensional energy and intent and vibration and color. But the really disciplined artists can actually use their mental capabilities to bring it to have physical 3D form. Those people are really, really talented. It takes years of training to do that, but they can actually do that.
Wow. It sounds like just an amazing interactive experience that ignites every one of our senses beyond what our even understanding of that is. So thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure. I'll send you the document so you can have it.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Sandra?
Take care, Heather.
Let's do these email blasts, Tolec. We got a ton of email blasts coming through on Gmail. We're trying to keep up with everything. Go ahead, Tolec.
Well, yeah, Sandra. Before we go to anybody else, I want to turn the table over to you for a moment. Is there anything that you'd like to ask about that you've always been interested in? And, we can talk about it now or any other time. But if it's something that you think people would benefit by hearing about, feel free, ask away.
Okay. Well, first, I'd love to get this email blast because this gentleman had actually sent this email blast over to you from Romania, where it's like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning over there.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
this be my friend. He says, here in Romania, it's about 3, 4 in the morning. He says, I have a question for Tolec, if I may. Does Tolec have any information about Romania and the Carpathian Mountains, which are considered to be the cradle of European civilization, about this eastern part of Europe, where we found artifacts with writing older, or at least 1,000 years, than Sumerian cuneiform? I mean, does Tolec have information from Andromeda Council people about the existence of Malefic alien underground bases, bigger or smaller, in the Romanian area? And do these benefit people from Andromeda Council intend to visit quietly this nice place of our wonderful planet too? Thank you,
Okay.
Best Constantine.
Multiple part question. All right, here we go. Okay, multiple part answer. There were people from Romania, Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, and a whole bunch of other countries. It totaled to like 16 or 17 countries that all wrote to me after I did the migration from Dakota story and the Titans and Olympian story, because they wanted to know all about their own people in their unique location. And I had to gently say, this isn't part of my normal work process. I did these two for very specific reasons. And the second part of that specific answer is, it is one of the prime responsibilities of the people from the 4 planets of the Andromeda Council, as they are traveling Earth, to inform the people on a region-by-region basis, to break down the mythologies of who they are, of where they're from, with accurate, tangible history. At least as it's been collected, in universal libraries, if you will. It is again, it's one of their prime responsibilities to do that. So they will do that. Beyond that, I'm aware of Andromeda Council bases. I'm aware of Andromeda Council biospheres and ships. I'm not aware of other people's bases underground. I am aware of the underground and undersea reptilian bases that have been taken out. But any other races, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay, thank you, Tolec. Thank you
you're
for
welcome.
that question.
Sure.
All right. One question I do have for you personally, if I can get one in here real quick. What is your thoughts in the nature of time itself?
Okay. I touched on it briefly. Everything that I have learned from my Andromeda Council contacts indicates a few things. Now, I'll give you an example. As an example, let's say that at this very moment in time, if I happen to reach out and ask any of them a question, for a rough approximation, At that moment, they're already 5 days